I'm Donald Schoo, and I'm here to talk about World War II and the Holocaust. I was drafted in April of 1943, right out of high school. I quit high school, and I right away got drafted. And they sent me to Fort Eustis, Virginia for my basic training. And while I was there, I was partial to machine guns. It was an artillery post, but I didn't want anything to do with those big guns for some reason or other, but I got kind of attached to the 50 caliber machine gun. And they told me there that don't waste your time, because when you leave here, you're too small. You'll be transferred into something else because you only weigh 118 pounds and you won't. And the funny part of it is, from there I went to England, and I was training for the Normandy Invasion. Everybody was training for the Normandy Invasion at that time. So, and the funny thing is, when I got to England, they put me on a 50 caliber machine gun, and I was working with 50 caliber machine guns till the war was over. So they miscalculated there. And we would go out. We have a day once in a while, we'd have a day off, but it was 7 days a week, morning till night, practicing for the Normandy Invasion. Jumping off of barges into the English Channel, and in the winter time, of course. And I got pneumonia and ended up in the hospital for about 2 or 3 weeks. And that's the only break that I got from training, is when I went to the hospital. And I never will forget, the nicest thing about that hospital was that a nurse came in about the second morning I was there. I had pneumonia. And she says, how would you like to take a bath? And I says, what's a bath? Because I was in the Army long enough where if you got a shower, where you're lucky. So anyhow, she filled this bathtub about half full of hot water, and I sunk down in that. I shut my eyes, and I thought I died and went to heaven. It was that night. Well, after that, I got out of there, and we finally finished our training, getting ready for the Normandy Invasion. We had no idea of when the invasion was going to take place. But we knew that that's what we were there for, and we knew that that's what we were training for, is the Normandy Invasion. Well, finally one day when we fell out for reveille in the morning, they said, okay, you guys, tonight, anybody that wants to pass, go out on pass tonight, and that's fine. Because starting tomorrow, we're going to be confined to camp. Nobody else leaves the camp or comes and goes from the camp, because the time is near. So we did. We went out that night. I went to Hastings, England, right where we were near, and went out and had a time and went back. And so the next day, then we started packing up all our stuff, and they were giving us different clothing if we had any tattered clothes or shoes or anything that weren't 100%, why they were resupplying it. And after about 2 or 3 days of this, when we got on trucks and we went down to Bournemouth, England. This is a coastal town in Bournemouth. We went down there and we started loading onto these barges. And I never saw so many boats in all of my life. It was right on the English Channel. You thought there was enough boats out there that you could almost walk across that English Channel. It was and chaos and everything, and everybody was mixed up and running in every direction. Well, we finally, we had half tracks. I should have brought that over. We had some half tracks. That's a half track is a truck with tracks in the back and wheels on the front. So we put our half tracks on I don't know what you would call it. It was a big barge. It was about the size of a football field, big flat barge. And then they took us and put us onto another boat, a landing boat, and this was, probably hold about 50, 75 guys. And so then as the barge went out into the channel, we followed alongside them and stayed within 10 or 15 yards from it. And then when this was on June the 4th, 1944, and we're supposed to land in France on the 5th, morning of the 5th. Well, that afternoon, late that afternoon, a bad storm came up. It was really a bad one. Rain and lightning and thunder, and and everybody got sick, and the boat was taking on water, and we were bailing with our helmets, and it was really nasty. So we weren't surprised then when later in the evening. Now, I don't know how they got the information, but we got word from the sailors that were running our boat. They told us that the invasion had been postponed because of the weather. It changed the tides or something, so we couldn't go in. So we sat out on the English Channel in for another day. And then on the late afternoon of the 5th day of June, we got orders that we were either going to go back to England to refuel, and what a heck of a mess that would have been, or we're going to go to France. Well, they decided that we're going to go to France the next morning, which we did. As we approached the French coast, we were about, probably a couple of 100 feet, but before this, we got off of this small boat we were on and went down rope ladders onto this big barge and got into our half-track, started them up, and pumped the guns a little bit to make sure that they were in working condition and everything. So we got offshore on Omaha Beach. We got offshore, probably 150, 200 yards when the Navy opened up with their ships. They had big gunboats all along the coast of France, and they all started pounding on the beach, and it was really something. And I remember, I don't know, somebody said as we were approaching the beach, this must be what hell looks like, because the whole coast, as far as we could see both ways, was just nothing but fire and smoke, and boats running in every direction, and whistles blowing, and those big battleships firing in there, and they were throwing the Iron Man. And we were kind of glad, because we thought, boy, this is going to be duck soup. This is going to be real. Nobody can live on that beach. Nobody's going to be alive on there. And well, we were wrong. When we hit the beach, they had a lot of bunkers up there. Now, these bunkers are cement, like a cement house, and it's usually about maybe 25 or 30 feet above the ground, and then it goes down into the ground for quite a ways, and it's storage. And the German soldiers that were there, that's where they lived, in these bunkers, and on the top bunker is where they had all their ammunition and had all their guns and that were trained on the beach. The windows in the back part, they had big double doors, steel doors that they could open and close to bring small trucks and supplies and stuff into the back. And in the front of them and on the sides of them, they had windows. And the windows were, maybe 2 feet wide and 6 feet high.